Hello Aries, Elsie here to do a reading for you. How are you, my fire family? Thanks for clicking here. Hey, I've got this deck here. We're going to do a reading for August. We are into the monthlies, so pay attention because your monthlies and your weeklies will be coming out in the next week or so. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aries, in the month of August. We'll see what is unfolding. Look, there's so much going on astrologically. If you are interested in that, I would suggest that you go find your favorite astrologer on the platform and go figure out what's going on and how it involves you, because I think it does. Let's find out what is going on for Aries in the month of July. What is unfolding for Aries? All right, we've got... The abundant universe will provide. It feels like there is some new cycle that's beginning here, but I think it's after an old cycle closes. I feel that you already know the cycle is coming to a close. It could be winding down at the end of July, but it does feel like you're very focused on something that I feel is probably approaching. I feel like you're suspicious. Maybe you don't trust it at first, but it feels like it is abundant. It's like a provision of some sort. What is it providing? We'll find out. We've got make your dreams real. Well, interesting. There's going to be an opportunity to make some sort of a dream real here. I think that you're getting some sort of an opportunity to get that job you always wanted, to get into the school you always wanted, to take the course you always wanted, to start the business you always wanted. It's something that you're building, and you've been building it for a while. It feels like it's very intricate and highly complex. It does feel like the universe is waiting for you to make a move. I think that... or waiting for you to get through this tangled, like I'm looking at the web, right? And it feels like it's sort of a very highly, because webs are highly complex. It feels like it does lead to a place of stability, but it almost feels as though you are, like people looking at you and saying, look, that's going to take forever. That's not going to work. That's not going to work for you. I feel like that might be in the middle of the month. One more card. We have watch your words. Okay. This could be something that you're building in the workplace as well. I'm going to say be careful not to parrot anything anyone has said to you until you know that it is true, because it feels like something is about to show up for you that's very abundant. It's something that you've been working on intricately for a long time that it feels like is going to give you balance. I'm looking at 56 being an 11 and 1 and 1 is 2, right? Balance. We've got a 9 here. I'm going to say that somebody might come to you in the month of August with a piece of information, either hoping you'll parrot it to somebody else, like you'll just repeat it. But I'm going to say, watch your words, be careful not to repeat anything anybody says until you have fact-checked it to make sure that it is exactly what it looks like it is on the surface. So, because your words, you can't take them back. It's like trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube, right? Says here, take time out. So I'm going to say take time out to fact check it. We've got trust in the magic. It really does feel like you got 9s here, right? 45 is 9. And we've got a 9 here. It feels like something's just around the corner. And of course, August is just around the corner. But I'm going to say that take time out to rest, because I feel like you're about to lead the charge on something. People are going to see you as a leader, or you're leading the charge on something here. You might have to lead a project because there is an opportunity showing up here. You might need to lead something, be the face of the company, whether you work for that company or that company is yours. Tell me about the abundant universe, please. We've got the Page of Swords. You've got somebody who's watching you, possibly. And I don't know where they're watching you. It could be at church. Could be at a public place. It feels like they're watching you build something. So I don't know what that means to you. You could be building a house. You could be building a life on your own. You could be really trying to get to some sort of a outcome that you've been hoping for a while. But it really does feel like they're watching you. It feels like you're starting something from scratch, but maybe not scratch. Maybe you're starting it from wisdom. So it feels like you're on a new project, or you're beginning something new, and you're really researching it to see what is true, what is not. It feels like you're being very careful with the information. But this abundant universe will provide tells me with card number 10 here, it feels like something here is about to end. So it could be employment that ends, it could be a contract that ends, because something new is starting up, but it's your own. It feels like something that fits into whatever you've been trying to build all along. And I think that the reason that it is showing up now, it's because something here is about to end. But as it ends, you have your eye already on something new. The strength card here. So having the courage to build something, to put yourself out there. I mean, the spider just builds the web wherever, and people think they're amazing. Some people do, right? The Hierophant is here. This seems like that you've maybe made the commitment to watch your words, that you don't believe it when you see it or hear it. I feel like you're a person who does your own research. Tell me about this Page of Swords. We've got the Six of Wands. We've got the Judgment card. And we've got the King of Cups. It does feel like there is something that is showing up that is going to change everything. Look at this. The Death card is in the future here. That's the bottom of the deck for me. It does feel like there is something showing up that is going to transform everything. Listen, though, I think that you know that something is winding down, and that's why I'm saying maybe you're coming to the end of a contract, or there's something here that is coming to its end. We have the Six of Wands. I feel like, although this is a victorious time for you, I feel like you're almost in suspension, waiting for someone to come back round, waiting for the opportunity to come back round. It almost feels like maybe you were in a contract, and at this time I'm not able to sign your contract because I'm in the middle of a contract. It feels like if this is what we're talking about, this comes back to you. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about it. If I'm talking about work, I could be talking about a work contract, but I could be talking about a relationship, a friendship. It feels like something here is coming back round. It is something that I feel you weren't ready for, or you pushed away and said, no, sorry, I can't do that. I'm already involved in another contract. I feel like something here is ending or changing. Look at this. The Wheel of Fortune is here. And it is going to take off quickly. It feels like the change is fast, and maybe that appeals to you, but in the midst of change and expansion, you have to say goodbye to something, someone, a situation, a job. You have to say goodbye to someone else. The Judgment card tells me that when it shows up, it's always going to keep showing up until you acknowledge it and say, yes, I will take that, or no, thank you. I feel like you were apathetic almost every time it showed up before this. It feels like you were apathetic. Like the King of Cups is very emotional underneath, but is not really showing everybody the cards, right? Keeping the cards to the chest. It feels like you were just sort of giving them the poker face. Not saying yes, not saying no, until it finally just went away. I feel like when it shows up this time, whatever the Judgment is bringing back for you, it could be something deeply emotional for sure. It feels like the Page of Swords is here, and it is going to cause you to really take a deep dive, because the Page of Swords is the student, but the one is a student of swords. What I know, what I want to know, is it what it is on the surface, or is there something deeper than that? And I feel it's like you do a deep dive on something. So I feel like something is coming back, and I think that in the past you would have fought for it, or it was something that you really wish you could get the success or victory in, but I feel like you had to go through a hard time. Six of Wands is about that, coming from the fight or the war, and finally getting your victory. So it feels like you weren't ready for it when it showed up before. I feel like you're about to get a victory. It could be deeply emotional for you, but I don't think you're ready to show that on the surface. It feels like, I'm going to say, deeply emotional, because I feel like you are really taking a deep dive to find out whether you want this or not when it shows up. It does feel like some sort of opportunity. I'll just leave that with you. The Strength card brings us the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Nine of Wands, and we've got the Ace of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Cups in the reverse. So in the middle of the month here, it feels like you are, now I think that while you were in this other commitment, this other job, when you were on this other path, I think that in your free time, or in times when things weren't so busy, It feels like you were putting a lot of time into building something that is a dream for you. Maybe you're building your dream home, but maybe you're also building an intricate network of people who you feel will support you in some sort of endeavor that I feel that you are going to be very courageous about. It does feel like it could have something to do with what shows up at the first of the month, and that thing could show up at the end of July as well. We do have an Aquarian moon coming up on the 29th, right, of July. So it feels like there is something here that you are going to be looking at intently, really looking over, trying to find the truth of it, or trying to research it, because it's deeply emotional, and it's time for you to finally take a look at it and say, no, that's not what I'm doing here, or yes, come on in. You have to really make a decision about it. So I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles here, we are talking about some sort of really solid opportunity that's showing up here, to start something new, to plant a new seed. And I feel like all of your time outside of whatever you might do for your 9 to 5 or whatever, the rest of your time is being put into your dreams, making your dreams real. So it feels like somebody has realized, look, I'm not going to be in the matrix forever. I'm not going to be punching in and out because somebody tells me I'm supposed to. I'm wanting to build my own dream and make it real. So it feels like you come to this place of exhaustion, I'm going to say. It does feel like exhaustion. It feels like you're low on money. It feels like you're waiting for the opportunity. When are they going to call me back about the opportunity? It feels like you're really trying to be brave, but you're really exhausted. It feels like mental exhaustion, friend. So it feels like you are in the midst of building something that you've been dreaming about, making your dreams real. And it does feel like you're almost suffering either, probably both, financial exhaustion and mental exhaustion. Because I feel like either your mind never stops, or you never stop putting little bits and pieces, like if you're building a house, it's like, oh, this board doesn't fit, or I cut it too long, I cut it too short. It feels like it's nickel diming you to death is what it feels like, and you're exhausted. So I think you're not going to stop, though, because the Strength card is here. I feel like whatever it is comes to a peak in the middle of the month. Feels like you feel a little bit stuck. We have the Page of Cups, but something is going to show for you that's good news. Something that I feel you are going to, ooh, look at that. You're going to take that creative opportunity, and I think you're going to go for it. Look at all these, all these wands here. It feels like there's something here that is exciting, that I feel like is really very, I think you're very curious about it. It sparks an interest within you, and it feels like you didn't expect that it would show up, because you were feeling kind of stuck in the mind. It feels like you were stuck in the mind, maybe thinking, I tried this before, right? The Judgment card is about something coming back around. I tried this before and it didn't work. And it feels like you're going to have some good news, or you're going to be very surprised about how well this thing works out. So I do believe that in the middle of the month is just when you're starting to get to this place where you're feeling exhausted. I feel like you're going to get a bit of a break with something that's going to help you make your dreams real. Tell me what the Hierophant is with Watch Your Words. Tell me about the Hierophant. We've got the 9 of Cups. We've got the Queen of Cups. And we've got the 9 of Pentacles. Look, we are in the 9s, are we not? 1, 2, 3, 4 9s. It feels like we're talking about something that you are, like I said, something here is winding down. I think that this thing here, whatever it is, your dreams, is going to overtake whatever it is that's coming to an end or winding down. Because I feel like you've been building something for a while here. The Hierophant tells me you've been building some sort of structure. The Hierophant can be a structure of corporation, can be institution. This is also standing on business, being very serious about the accomplishment. It almost feels like you're building something and you kind of stand back to take a look at it and say, I built that. It feels emotionally satisfying. It also feels like happy, like wish fulfillment. I feel like you've been working on something for a while, and it feels as though we are in the 9s, and so it's right around the corner from you really getting attention, or being, I would say, feeling very self-accomplished. It does feel like you are building something like a sturdy with a sturdy foundation, but I feel like you're building a sturdy structure, I would say. You've been very committed to it. It says watch your words, because look, when you get into business, right, if this is a business we're talking about, maybe it's a relationship, you really have to be more diplomatic with your words. Otherwise, it taints the business. People don't want to deal with you if they know that you're going to be a wild card. You know, it feels like that. That might be what this card is, and it feels like you're realizing that I don't want this structure to fall just because I said something out of line. You tend to have to be a little more diplomatic by which the way you say your words. You can still tell the truth, but it has to be in the Queen of Cups way. Kind, soft, compassionate, and loving. It feels like if you want your wish fulfillment, there are some changes that need to go on here, but I think you don't really want to make those changes. It feels like the changes are something that you don't want to make, because the Hierophant's a little bit stubborn, and unless you bring enough information to Taurus, right? Unless you bring enough information to Taurus, Taurus will look over the information, and if Taurus feels that the information is correct, they will change their mind about how they feel about something. But as of right now, I don't think you're willing to change your mind. In fact, I feel like you dig your heels in and say, this is my happiness, this is my wish fulfillment. I am going to be very confident. I'm going to say this with my whole chest, but I think you need to do it very compassionately or kindly. So I feel like what's unfolding for you in the month of August is that there's a new opportunity coming. It feels like just as you are feeling like you're running out of money, that you're mentally exhausted, you know, we got nines, right? We got all these nines here. It really feels like this is going to be the last month that you're going to have to grind at something, because I think something here, someone is going to see it as built. They're going to see something. You could be building the self. You could be getting educated, right? We could talk about the Hierophant and the Nine of Pentacles being educated, maybe get a doctorate or a master's or a bachelor in whatever it is that you're doing. But I feel like after August, you're really going to need to take some time away, because it feels like you've been forging a path, or you've been leading the fight. Because the Six of Wands is here, it feels like you have been working really hard, and it's going to be time to rest. So I feel like you still are going to have to do this all the way through August, but I feel like it's going to unfold the way you want it to. The middle of August is the peak, I think, where people start to notice the beautiful design, the structure you're building, the stability you're building, the business you're building. All right, we're going to go into the extended from here. And if this rings a bell for you and you want to come into the extended, please look into the pinned comment. You will see there's a link there for the membership, which is where all the extendeds go. And if you're interested in a private read right now, I am caught up. Y'all kept me so busy over the month of July, but I'm caught up. If you're interested, please look at my prices and packaging through Hypsee. And if you are interested in that, yeah, go ahead and book. The live readings are always on sale. Okay, so we have the Sun. Oh, I love this. I love this, Aries. August is going to go, boom, from night to day. Something here that is being hidden from you that you weren't sure about. The illusion was like, gosh, is it ever going to work? I feel this opportunity shows up just at the nick of time. But this is an opportunity that you maybe turned away a while ago. Maybe you didn't feel strong enough. Six of Wands. Maybe you didn't feel like you could fight the other thing. Get out of the contract. Maybe it felt too deeply emotional for you to look it in the eye. Feels like the buffalo energy is very intent on ending some sort of a cycle to start a new cycle. And it feels like some sort of really big change is coming in the month of August. And it feels like it goes from night to day here, friend. Like it's a change overnight. What? We got the Two of Cups here. So look, it does feel like it's something that you've been working on for a while. It does feel like it is something that you're being very intentional about. And so if we are talking about, if you are looking at this as hopefully something emotional is going to happen in August, I think that platonically or romantically, I'm looking at this as being part of whatever is winding down, whatever you've been building, whatever people are going to finally notice about you. I feel like you are going to be bonding through emotional communication. Like it's reciprocal emotional energy. I'm just going to give you maybe you're a painter, and finally someone says, look, do you want to display those paintings in our gallery? We'd really like for you to do that. It feels like that kind of thing. You've been working on this intricately and tirelessly and exhausted in the mind, exhausted money, trying to be courageous, and boom. Finally, at the end of August, something shows up and says, hey, can we talk about that? Can we talk about how you've put yourself on the line emotionally? Look, this is the only deck I've ever seen where the King of Cups has 2 cups. I'm just saying. It does feel like something that you never thought you'd be able to do is about to show up for you in August. And it's after putting in a lot of hard work. You are creating transformation because you've been working hard. And look at that. Justice is coming to you. Feels like you're going to get the thing that you want to get because your hard work is about to pay off. Let's go into the extended. If you want to be there, you know what to do. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back. I'll be back with your weeklies. Take care of yourself. Thanks, Aries. Bye-bye.